Hey guys, I'm Courtney from the Mommy Matters, and I'm finally getting around to recording this vlog that I promised you guys I would put up last week. I've actually attempted this about 10 or 11 times, and the last time I did it, YouTube told me I talked too much because they cut me off about 3/4 of the way through this. So I'm going to try again, and I'm hoping that I can get it in at least 1 or 2 takes this go around. You guys sent way more questions than I ever expected. I was shooting for 10 and I ended up with 25. So what I'm going to do is answer 3 or 4 here now, answer a few in a post, and then answer a few more in another blog sometimes next week. Not sure exactly what day because it's taken me forever to find time to sit down and film this without a 2-year-old climbing up my leg or trying to get up here in the webcam and film his own vlog. So actually, the question that I got asked the most was, how did I get into photography, and what kind of equipment do I use, what kind of equipment do I hope to use, and how do I edit my pictures. So, as far as getting into photography, my sister and I were in pageants a lot when we were younger, and my mom was always the one who took our headshots. So when we were little, we were used to being in front of the lens, and I always wanted to be behind it and see if I could take pictures because my mom was really good. We always tried to talk her into opening a business and she never would, but she was really good. She's extremely talented. And my sister and I would go out on the weekends some when she would let us play with her camera and take our own pictures and model, and we weren't very good then, but we had a good time. And when I got in high school, I started taking pictures for the yearbook staff, and then when I got in college, I took a few pictures for some graphic design classes and some journalism classes. And then when I had Noah, Josh bought me a SLR camera, and I decided that I didn't want to take just plain ordinary pictures of Noah when he was a baby and when he was growing up. So I started practicing, and I started spending time in different photography chat rooms and message boards and learning everything that I could, because most of you know that custom photography is extremely expensive, and we weren't at a point where we could afford to have new pictures made of Noah every couple of months, and I wanted to be able to do that on my own, and I wanted them to be good. So I practice, and I still practice, usually every day, if not every day, every couple of days. I spend most of my day with the camera and take pictures of random meticulous stuff that I see laying around, or take pictures of Noah, or now that I'm here in Alaska, I take a lot of pictures of the scenery. So right now I'm using a Canon Rebel XSI with an 18-55mm lens and a 50mm lens, and I just ordered the 70-300, and it should be here next week for a lot of the landscape pictures out here. The scenery is really great, but I don't have a very long zoom lens to get close, and I definitely wanted one of those to take a lot of the pictures of the mountains, and we have bald eagles out here everywhere, and I'm hoping to catch some good pictures of some wildlife later on during the summer. I edit my pictures with Photoshop Elements 8. Photoshop Elements 9 actually came out about a month and a half or 2 months after I bought 8, but I'm hoping to upgrade when I become a student again in January to Photoshop CS5 or Lightroom, probably both. I've tried both and I like them. Different reasons for each one, but I'm planning to definitely upgrade those, and I'm in the process now of trying to sell my XSI. If any of you are interested in a beginner's SLR camera, I have one for sale, and I'll be happy to send it to you. So I can upgrade my camera. I'm still not sure what I'm upgrading to. I think I'm going with the 50D because the reviews for the 60 are not as good as I hoped they would be, and I'm not sure if I want to go for the 70. So that's what I use right now and what I'm hoping to use. Ultimately, I want to end up with the Canon 5D Mark II, but it's a full frame camera and it's a little more than what I need right now. And yeah, that's where I'm at now, and we'll see where it takes me. The next question I got a lot of was, what do I love the most and what do I love the least about living in Alaska? And I think I like the hospitality and the friendliness of the people here the most, People have been extremely welcoming and really, really friendly. It's been easy to make friends so far. I like the laid-back atmosphere. There's not a lot of ideal set on keeping up with the Joneses and staying busy. It's very laid back. It's easy to relax. There's no pressure to go and go and go all day long. The thing I definitely like the least is there's no Target, and the Starbucks has no drive-thru. So when I want coffee, I actually have to park the car and get out and walk in, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but when the wind's blowing 40 miles an hour and it's about 20 degrees outside, coffee just isn't worth getting out and dragging the baby out of the car. So I have to hold off on my coffee, but I make a lot of coffee at home. Let's see, another one I got that I thought was interesting was, what 3 rooms are essential in my dream home? And this was kind of a fun question because Josh and I have actually had this conversation before, if we win the lottery type conversation. We would each have our own office set up the way we wanted. I dream of an office like you see out of the Pottery Barn magazines, where you just line the walls with bookshelves and desks, and I could craft and scrapbook and work on my photography and have everything in one place. Extremely organized, wall-to-wall shelves, wall-to-wall books, desk. Perfect. That would be ideal for me. Josh would want his own office for all of his Navy and his Coast Guard medals and plaques and certificates, and I would really like an eat-in fancy dining room. I don't really know why, because we don't cook a lot of fancy food. I mean, we're from the South, so big, huge, elaborate meals are not something that, we do very often, but I would like a dining room that I guess more or less is just off of my kitchen. Everywhere we've lived, we've had an eat-in kitchen, so our table and chairs have been right there within the area that I try to cook, and I would really like one where my kitchen I could just strictly cook and not fool with having the table and having people around trying to eat while I'm trying to finish a meal. So I think that would be the other big thing that I would really like to have if I had an option. If I could have a 4th room, I definitely say I want a whole playroom, possibly in the basement, so that Noah could have all of his toys in a little area out of the way and not strung all over the house. The last question that I want to answer, because I know we have a lot of family who are concerned with this, and we have a lot of friends who ask us this all the time, and that's, are we going to have another baby? And the answer is, I have no idea. We talk about it a lot. We've thought about it. We're still kind of back and forth whether we want a second child now or whether we want to wait. I know they say there's no convenient time to have a baby, so we're well aware of that, but there are things that we both want to do that we just don't know if having a second child right now is going to fit into that plan. But I'm not the one that's in charge, and I know who is, so if he decides we need a second child, then we'll have a second child. And yes, I really would like to have another little boy. I used to think that I would want a little girl and would be overwhelmingly happy with a little girl, but after raising a little boy, there's nothing in the world like them. So I could definitely see myself in a house full of little guys running around. So those are my 4 questions that I'm going to answer now, and you can see the rest of the questions in a post probably Tuesday or Wednesday of next week, and then I'll work on a vlog later on. So thank you guys for your questions, and if you have any more, feel free to leave them in the comment section and I'll answer them next go around. Thanks, and I'll see you guys around the blogosphere. Bye.